Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. As we are starting off, if you've never joined us for Mentor Monday, here's the way we always lead off right here. You see this? Let us know that you're here. Jump inside of the chat, say hello, tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about. Obviously, you can throw questions in there tonight. We're beginning a brand new series tonight, and I'm super excited about it because I'm looking for a specific outcome within the next 4 weeks. And that outcome is you having at least one client at the end of the next 4 weeks doing these Mentor Mondays with you. And so we're going to talk through that. We're going to give you actionable items and tools. But do me a huge favor and jump inside. Let us know that you are here. Americo's joining us from Richmond, Virginia. CJ's joining us from Los Angeles. I'm just doing a really quick mic check, really quick. There you go. Looks like I'm pretty good. Kathy's saying hello. She's joining us from Ohio. Christine is joining us from Georgia. Stephen is joining us from Ontario. I'm assuming Canada. I'm in California. That could be Ontario, California, because I know that we have an Ontario, California. So if you would, please jump inside of the chat, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Do me two favors, actually. Let us know that you're here. Tell us your name, where you're joining us from. Well, your name should show up there, where you're joining us from. And like this post. It tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. We have a 4-word mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It is proficient coaches, thriving practices. We're not going to be one-dimensional. Where everything that we do on a Monday is always in our school across the board, but on Mondays when I'm with you guys and these freebies is always to that end. I want you to grow in coaching proficiency, but I also want you to be successful as a business person. And that means that you got to have clients, right? The only way that we can change the world is if we actually have somebody in front of us that we're coaching. And so I want you to be as successful as you possibly can be. Not only coaching proficiency, I don't want you just over there like, I got all these skills. You got to have clients, right? And so that's one of the end games over the next 4 weeks specifically is you getting clients. So please just take 1 second and like it and share it. Let me see who else I need to say hello to. Steven joining us from Arkansas. Rashonda joining us from Texas. And Steven says, yes, Canada, eh? Yes. You know what, Steven, my favorite movie growing up was this movie called Strange Brew. I don't know if any of you even know what this movie is, but it was the greatest movie of the 80s. And it had Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. They used to be on this show that's kind of like Saturday Night Live in Canada. It was called SCTV. And so Rick Moranis was also in Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he was in a lot of other movies. But this was one of those places where he kind of got his start. And I still have the entire dialogue from the movie memorized. And so we would watch it multiple times every weekend with my friends. And anyway, I would highly encourage you. You'll find it's on YouTube for free, I believe. Deanna's joining us from Alberta. Kate is joining us from Florida. Again, do us a huge favor, everybody. Jump inside of the chat. Say hello. Tell us where you're joining us from. Take 1 second and just like. It's not that hard. Just hit like. If you're on your phone right now, or you're on a computer right now, just hit like. That way, Facebook and YouTube know that we're doing a good job because we do try really hard. You'll notice if you ever join us on Mondays, I never do fluff. I never waste your time. I always give you stuff that's either going to help you be a better coach or to get clients. And I'm not going to disappoint even in this new series that we're getting ready to do. So please do that for us. So having said all of that, what is the series that we are in right now? The new series that we are starting tonight is how to get your first coaching client, or we're kind of shortening it up and saying getting your first coaching client. So I've got an end game that I am after over the next 4 weeks. If you do not have a client, let's say you've already gotten your training and certification out of the way, I want you to have a client. And there's no reason with what I'm going to show you over the next 4 weeks that you cannot have your first client or multiple. But I need you to make a commitment today, right now. Like, don't waste your time tonight. Like, close up the window, go shut down the app, go back on Instagram, do something like that. if you're not going to commit to actually implement what we're showing you. Because I know it works. Matter of fact, it's the very thing that I did, not knowing how to do anything, was the only thing that I knew to do. Is I had no money left and I'd gotten trained and certified. And so there were some things that I just threw at the wall to be like, let's just try this and let's see what happens. And I was surprised that some of the things, not done perfectly, because I'm going to show you how to do it well, because over the last, um, you know, 11 years, we've been helping coaches get trained and certified, and we've been giving them the business development steps so that they don't make mistakes coming out of the gate. And what I'm getting ready to show you will absolutely work. But let's not kid ourselves, and let's not waste anybody's time, including your own. If you're not going to actually implement this, like you're not going to make a commitment right now to do it, just close up the window now. We'll give you like 5 seconds to do that, and you can go on to something else. But I want that commitment, because if you aren't willing to take the steps that it takes to put yourself out there, and this is not hard stuff, and it's not going to cost you any money to do this, but if you're not willing to actually take the steps and do some things, then we're just spinning our wheels. It means that at our heart, we may dream of being a coach, but we're not actually committed to becoming a coach. Just because you get trained and certified doesn't even mean that you're committed to becoming a coach. Because if you're not willing to do some of the things to put yourself out there to create a momentum for your business and get clients, then that's very problematic. Probably means that there's some belief systems in here we need to go after or something like that. Okay, so for those of you who are still around that I didn't scare off, and I'm not afraid of scaring people off, you guys need to be okay when you're coaching people to be a truth teller. Speak the truth to people, not in a harsh way, but we're asking for commitment. And I can't see you. I'm not in front of you right now, but what future is going to prove past, right? So in a month, let's get like 5 weeks down the road, 6 weeks down the road, because it's a 4-week series, right? So let's get ourselves into what? April. If we don't have a client, my guess is you didn't put these things in order. And I may have to ask you once we start April if you've got a client. When you come on here, I may go down the line of everybody. Do you have a client? What happened? I thought I had your commitment, you know? All right. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm only like 25% messing with you. We're going to have fun tonight. Let me say hello to a few more people. Mirko says, I am all in. Kathy says, I am willing and committed. Danny is giving me the Spock thing. And Deanna says, I'm not scared. Let's do it. Deanna's screaming at me. Okay, I guess we need to start. Deanna's ready. Okay, so this is the first week of this new series, how to get your first coaching client. And here's what I want you to know on the front end. Your first client is already closer than what you think right now, while we're sitting here right now. Before we dive in, if you want the slides tonight, that does remind me. Give me 1 second. We need to flip something really quick. So don't text that yet. Let me flip the switch on this really quick. The slides this week. Oh, come on, Paul. I can't believe I did that. Let me see if I can fix that really quick. Let's see. Let me edit that. Do we have it? Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second. What's happening is it's still pointing to our slides from previous, and that's not going to do anybody any favor. So give me 2 seconds and I'm going to fix that, and then you'll be able to get the slides. So let me try that. 2.24. Let's see if we got it. There it is, right there. And now we got it. See, somebody didn't listen. Somebody tried to send something. Nope, you guys aren't listening. It's not in there yet. Now it'll be in there. But you guys texted too quickly. So maybe you can get it now. All right. So, yeah, some of you sent your thing in early. Now that person got it. I can see like literally on this thing over here that you guys are getting it. Isn't that cool? So now, everybody's getting it? All right, we're good. Now, if you want the slides, you just click that, go to the bottom of the page, and you can download the slides for this week. Now, let's talk about what is the best place to start. Because here's one of the things that You guys have learned from me a lot over the years. Whether that be recently, I was doing the social media series. I've done a lot on branding. I mean, we're constantly giving you tools and we're giving you hacks and we're talking about strategy that it requires to get clients. And I'm not against strategies. I'm not against any of those things, obviously, because we implement those things. There's a lot of things that absolutely work. And I don't think that the coaching business is actually that complicated. I don't think it's that difficult. It's actually one of the easiest businesses to get up and going, get clients, and take home about 90 something percent of what you make. Having said that, I want you to understand that the fastest path to client number one is simply through the people that you already know. That's why I'm saying you're closer to that first client right now than you probably realize. And yes, like I was saying, I believe in strategies. I believe in having a website. I believe in having social media, all kinds of different things. But what I want you to understand, and if you've not picked this up yet, what I've always taught you in terms of strategy has always had a particular end game for it. The strategies that I have always taught is understanding what the coaching business is. The coaching business is a relational business. It's not like selling widgets, it's not like selling a product. It's not the same kind of thing. For a coaching relationship to be born, it means that the client needs to be ready. They have to be at this emotional threshold where they are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They want change in their life. That's one portion of it. So they got to cross that threshold and be committed, and it's a critical level that they're ready to do something. On the other side, they need a coach who they believe they trust, that they believe that they like, and has shown a certain level of expertise. That they look at this person there and they're like, I have this problem, and this coach understands the problem. And more importantly, they have a solution to help me get breakthrough in that area and to get me what I want, right? Now, everything that we do in our strategies is always unto helping a client get ready. But the other side and the lion's share of it is actually for this end game right here. That end game is that all of the strategies that I teach you to do, because I don't teach you just to run ads and to say, do you want to be, you want to coach? Do you want to coach? What I teach you is that all of the strategies actually have rapport as the end game. What is rapport? That means that they trust you. It means that they like you. It means that you've shown a certain level of expertise that they believe you can help them achieve their goal. You can help solve their problem. So know this, that everything that I've ever taught you was always that end game. Having said that, there are certain people that you already have rapport with. So why would you not start with people who already trust you, they already like you, and they already believe in you? That would be the first place out of the gate. See, like what happens with some coaches is they start their business badly because they don't choose a niche. And I'm still going to tell you, and we'll unpack this in a second, you got to choose a niche. You got to choose a certain people group who have a specific problem. You don't sell coaching, you sell a solution to a problem. I'm not dismissing that. It's really important for you to understand. Now, here's the other thing that I would say about this is that a lot of coaches start out of the gate very badly because they don't understand, first of all, that you need to choose a niche. And then the second thing that they always do coming out of the gate is that they end up going in this process of inertia where they're like, well, I don't know what to do and I don't know where to find them. And I don't know what. And so they'll try a social media strategy for about a week, and then they'll go over here and do something, and then they'll do something over here in email or whatever. And they're like, well, should I get business cards printed out? So they do all of this stuff and they spin their wheels while the entire time they already know, in most cases, hundreds, maybe thousands of people. And that's actually where, and you already have trust, you already have likability built in those relationships, and you already have expertise. There's already people who trust you that already see you as a person that they could receive from or who they could partner with to get breakthrough or help or whatever. So this is what coaches usually do. They dismiss everybody that they know, and then they just kind of go over here and they're going to try to start from scratch with people that they have zero rapport with. And when you start with people who you have zero rapport with, then that means it might actually take you a couple of months to build that rapport. Rather than start out of the gate and my rapport is already near 100% with certain people, that needs to be the first place that I start. Not diving into all these strategies. I'm not saying don't have a website. I'm not saying not to have social media. I think that you can get a humble beginning of those things started, but you should. There is nothing, once you get trained and certified and once you know what your niche is, there is nothing that should keep you from having a client within like a week or two after that. And I know this about coaches, that the longer that you drag on and drag your feet, I know what a lot of coaches will do. They will grow increasingly with less faith and less confidence to do this, so that at best they're going to keep going to training all the time or go get more training somewhere because they think that that's going to solve their lack of confidence issue. And the thing that you need to do is that you need to start as quickly as you possibly can, actually. It's actually the opposite of what most people feel like they should be doing. So, the first thing that you've got to do to get this first client is to discover what your network is presently. And when I say discover your network, what I'm saying is that out of the gate, you may not even be aware of what, when we say network, what that actually is. Well, here's how you do that. You're uh, you're going to start out. Now, I'm giving you specifics on what you need to do. That's why you needed to download the slides, because otherwise you're having to write everything down right now. You're going to list everyone that you know. Now, when I say list everyone that you know, I'm not saying that every person that you are writing down is a potential client. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not even saying that friends and family would ever be a potential client, but they are people that you know. So not everybody, so I'm not looking to leave people out. I'm looking and leading with, how inclusive can I be of literally everybody that I know? Don't underestimate anybody. Don't underestimate any source that's out there. Don't underestimate acquaintances, because sometimes acquaintances can be some of the best lead generators. Let me say this. I had someone that fed me business all the time that did not even know what I did, nor did they ever get coaching from me, nor did they ever see me coach someone. They just knew me as a person who had rapport, that I built rapport with them. And since they were in my network, they were constantly like, Paul can really help you get results. Now, I had a reputation of being able to help people get results, but other than that, they didn't like really know me. They were just strictly an acquaintance who actually never became a client, but they were a great lead generation source. So when you are letting everyone that you know, I need you just to sit down with a piece of paper or an iPad or something. You can even begin to do this right now. There are going to be people who could be potential clients, but every person that you think of could be a person who opens the door for your business. So, a network that you are putting together, again, network does not mean a list of potential clients. Network means these are just simply people that I know. And these might be people who what? Know other people. So when you write down that list of people, no matter how big or small it is, what you're doing is that you are going to borrow off of the equity of these people who are in your network. So when you're thinking of, well, who are these people? Well, I want you to think broad, think friends, think family, think past and present coworkers, think past and present bosses. I want you to think doctors. Yes, doctors. Why would I talk to my doctor about this? Well, you've been a really good customer for a really long time. They've probably made hundreds, maybe thousands off of you. So you know what needs to happen? A little bit of reciprocity. You've been pouring into their staff and into their business, helping them employ people and everything else. Wouldn't they really like to return the favor? And they would. And a lot of times people aren't thinking about these kinds of people. If you go to a restaurant consistently, if you go to a coffee shop consistently, there are going to be places where you show up in life right now where you already know all kinds of different leaders. Might be a pastor, it might be a rabbi, it could be anybody. See, what happens is that when you reach out to all of these people, and let's say that you started out of the gate, I think that you got to have a minimum of 100 people. Reality is that if you at this stage of the game, you probably know thousands of people. I'm telling you not to leave people out. If you have the ability to have their phone number in your phone, if you have their email address, if you have them as a friend or a connection on social media, I think that we're talking about the lowest bar that we can go after, that we know them, that they are an acquaintance. We consider those people as part of our network. Now, minimum that you're going to have is 100 people. Well, each one of those 100 people could be connected to another 100 or even thousands of people, depending on what their job is, and everything else. And see, what ends up happening is that because we are tapping into that, you have equity with these people, but the people that they know that you may not know, you're going to borrow off of their equity. Because how does business get done? If your car breaks down, your brakes go bad on your car, what's the first thing that you do? You don't look for a certified technician. You don't look for a specialist. You don't look for any of those things. When people are having issues, when they're having problems, when they're having difficulties or whatever, out of the gate, they're not like, let me look for a certified coach who does this. You know what you do? You start with your friends, you start with your family, and you say something like, who do you know that works on cars? Who do you know that whatever? I just got a new person who's a professional that helps me in my business. I went to someone that I knew that has been very successful in business. And who do you trust to do this kind of work inside of your business? And he's like, this is who I would recommend. And I'm like, okay. I don't know this person from anybody. It was literally, hey, my friend so and so told me to call you. I pretty much do every bit of my business that is face to face, in person, bigger kinds of things, always through referrals. And that way you have the trust portion out of the way. And the people are also telling you, oh, this person's really good at blank. So, it's calming. It's very encouraging to know that through somebody else, this is someone that you can count on. This is why we actually use a network, rather than you just going on social media and you're just trying to find followers and you're doing a song and dance and you're wondering how long it's going to take before you get a client. This is why we start where we are starting. Now, we got to contact these people though. And when I say contact these people, that means that you need to think through, what is your message actually going to be when you reach out? And it's not going to be, I'm a life coach. You want a life coach? Is anybody? No, no one wants to work with a life coach. No, we're not interested in that. You know what people are interested in? They're interested in their own life, their own problems that are keeping them up at night. So that means that any messaging that comes out of us has to be as good to these people, these first people, as it would be in our social media and on our website. And you guys know, if you've been around more than a few weeks, I preach this really hard to you guys to get your messaging dialed in for your website, for your social media, because you only have about 3 seconds for people to understand who this is for and what problems does it solve. And if you can't tell people that, then they click off your website and go on. Now, these people will give you a little bit more of a hearing, but I'm not talking about a really long message. You can see this right now. This isn't a whole lot of words, but they're very strategic words. Now, um, You can do this through email. I'm not saying that you can't do this through social media. I think that you need to do it through multiple communication channels, as many as you have for people. So if I was going to write a email or I was going to write a letter, when I would say this is that letters are not as successful as other things, then I need a really strong subject. Let's just be honest. Don't try to fool people. You need to be honest. You need to be really clear to the point what this is about and what you need. People who hide what I'm asking from them somewhere else are looked at as people who aren't very authentic and don't have a whole lot of integrity. You ever get reached out by someone and they say, "Hey, I just wanted to catch up with you." And you're like, "I know this person doesn't want to just catch up with me. They're trying to sell me something. I know. I've been watching them post all their beach body stuff. I've been watching them post all of this other kinds of stuff, their yoga stuff and everything else. I know it's not just from it." So don't do that to people. Just be honest with them. And this is how we're honest right there on the forefront. What do we say? Something like, "I need a quick favor," and it's a big one. Let's just be honest about what we're asking for. Now, I'm showing you how to write this thing. This first portion of what we are giving them is the introduction. Now, some of you, I realize out of the gate that you're just like, "Do I have credibility? I don't think I have credibility. I don't have a whole lot of experience coaching people. I just got certified 13 hours ago or whatever." And so the coaches use that as a "I don't have enough credibility to do this." That's totally not true. That's crap actually. You have a great momentum of a lot of things that you've been doing in your life, and you've been helping people for years, and there are certain problems that get you up and get you riled up and you want to help people solve, especially some of those problems that you solved previously, maybe a few years ago or something like that. So everybody who's in here has credibility because you've done life. You've been successful. You have a limp, so you've been through some things. You've got some scars and you've endured and you've gotten breakthrough and you keep going after a life. There's all these things. Everything, and I've told our coaches this as well, everything that you've done in a past season professionally and personally can carry over and is relevant for what we're doing in coaching. And I would say this, that most of you are choosing a coaching niche that was probably you a few years ago, or it was something industry related or whatever. You didn't just think of it like one day, like, "I think I'm going to do this, even though I know nothing about this niche. I know nothing about these people. I know nothing about this problem." You're not doing that. You're choosing something out of your experience already. So this is how we make it make sense in terms of what we're doing, because the focus is not, "I got certified last week." We focus on what people know about us and our reputation and our story that leads in a way that makes sense. So in our introduction, what do we say? See if I can change my color here. "Hey, so and so, I've spent the last 10 years in HR." What am I telling them right there? "I spent the last 10 years in HR." You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about experience. I'm talking about expertise right here. You guys, as you're building out your story, your little letter, your communication or whatever, this is where you've got to start. "I've spent the last 10 years in HR. And if there's one thing I know," what are we talking about? We're talking about your authority with this stuff. "There's one thing I know for sure. It's and here's a problem right here. I'm introducing you to the problem because your introduction is going to include your why and the problem. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's this: too many people settle for jobs that suck the life out of them just to pay the bills. Now we've got the problem." I'm also going to share with them my why. What is the why right here? The why is right here. That's never set right with me. So I'm doing something about it. See how this makes sense? I'm taking everything I learned. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about experience. We're talking about your history, right? The experience, the passion, the straight up frustration, and I'm leveraging it as a career coach. My goal, and what are we getting to? We're about to get into the solution. My goal, and I'll see if I can mark that really quick so that you see it. My goal, help people get out of the grind, land jobs that actually fulfill them, and make the most money they've ever made in their lives. See how we did that? Remember when I always tell you in your marketing is that your niche is a people, it is a problem, and a solution. See how we just did that? We didn't sell, we weren't sell. When I read this, I can tell who this is for. And they're thinking about everybody who what? Who is settling for a job that's sucking the life out of them. They want to make more money. They feel very unfulfilled. So they're thinking of all these people unfulfilled, not making enough money, barely making it. All kinds of this is what's sticking out to people. And here's where you come in. What are we doing now? Now we got to get to what? We need an ask. I need a favor, a big one. So we're not acting like, and so here's what we're doing. When we set it up to say, I need a big favor from you, that might scare somebody. Oh, they're going to ask a big favor of me? But watch what I do. This is not even a big favor. It's a small favor, actually. But I got them all riled up. Oh, this is going to be a big favor. And now they're kind of prepared. They're going to ask me to buy something. They're going to ask me. And then they look at it, and here's all I'm asking them. Can you introduce me? Look, you've got to make a clear ask, everybody. Can you introduce me to two people who need this? Maybe they're stuck in a job. See how we give them some specifics? Maybe they're stuck in a job that they hate. Maybe they're ready to level up. Maybe they just need someone in their corner to help them make a power move. Who comes to mind? And now we got to tell them specifics. What do you want them to do then? Send me their names. Better yet, connect us directly. It would mean the world. So we can ask them and we can make it as specific as possible. Here's how they can contact me. Text, put me in a group text with them. Give me their email, whatever. So this is what we're doing. See how quick that email was? We're talking about maybe 150 words. Spaced out, really clear. Anybody can read this in 30 seconds. And you know what they do? They get to the bottom line of who it is that you help, what problems that you help people solve. It makes sense. You're not sitting around saying, I just got certified last week. No, you are doing something that other people wish they had the boldness to do. Leave that previous career behind and start a business. That's what you're doing. You're an entrepreneur. You're declaring entrepreneurship, not that I just got certified. Okay, big difference, right? See, I hope you guys are getting confident here because this is really easy. It's not rocket science. So let me break it down for you. And if you have your slides, then I give you some questions that you can follow. So I'm giving you literally in that exactly what to say. That first part is the introduction. It's your why. You're introducing your why, and you are also introducing what the problem is. Now, here's that example that we just used. I've spent the last 10 years in HR, and if there's one thing I know for sure, it's this. Too many people settle for jobs that suck the life out of them just to pay the bills, and that's never sat right with me. So here's a few questions that you can ask yourself to create your own introduction. What experience or background do you have that connects to your coaching work? So, as you're choosing your niche and everything else, I want you to unpack. See, story is very important. People will remember things because of story and the fact that it actually makes sense. You introduced your why while at the same time connecting it with a problem. So, what experience or background do you have that connects to your coaching work? What motivated you to transition into coaching? See, this right here is going to sum up your why. Now, again, we're not talking about pages and pages. We don't need your life story. What we're going to do is that we're just going to introduce it and allow it to make sense. Third question, what problem or frustration have you seen over and over that you feel compelled to solve? All of this will help you write your introduction. Those three questions will help you write out your introduction. Now, that second part is talking about the solution. Your coaching as the answer for the problem. So here's that example again. I'm taking everything I've learned, the experience, the passion, the straight up frustration, and I'm leveraging it as a career coach. My goal to help people get out of the grind, land jobs that actually fulfill them, and make the most money they've ever made in their lives. See, this is a really, really good solution. Like most people, honestly, the way that that's written right there, how many people would sign up for something like that? See, you got to give them a vision. The solution needs to be tangible. It needs to look like a before and after. So if my problem is, well, I'm living a life, it's a 9 to 5 every day and it's a grind and it's not very meaningful and I don't like it. I have no passion. Then I'm going to speak to that so that my solution is I'm painting a vision right here. I want to get people out of the grind, get land jobs that actually fulfill them, and make the most money they've ever made in their lives. Now that's really bold, isn't it? That's what that we're aspiring to for our clients. Now, most everybody that you would talk to would say, "Would you like to make the most money that you've ever made in your life?" I would say probably 75 to 80% of people are going to say, "Well, yeah, how would I do that?" There you go. And so this is how we want to actually put the language together with how we're writing this. So here's a few questions that you can ask. How does your coaching help solve this problem? I want you to think about these. That'll help you write in. See, basically, what I've done is I've already given you the outline. You just need to fill it in. That first part is your introduction that has your why and the problem. Now we introduce them to the solution. What is the transformation? Your client's experience. We need a picture of that, like it is right here. What's different about your approach? If there's anything remarkable about that, you could include that. But again, we're not overdoing it. Now we get to the last part. What is that last part? It's the ask. And if you guys will write the entire thing and leave the ask out, you failed. I'm giving you all the components. And so if we're going to do this successfully, then you got to use all the components. If you are vague about your ask, if you don't even ask, then you won't get. You need to ask for what you want. If you're not getting what you want, then you're probably not asking for it. So we need to be specific about that. Here's where you come in. I need a favor, a big one. Can you introduce me to two people? You see that? That's really straightforward, isn't it? I need two people from you. Two people. That's a specific ask. It's a specific number. We know it's specific enough. I didn't say one person. I didn't say a group of people. I didn't say a handful of people. I didn't say what, I wasn't vague. Two people. Exact number. Who needs this? Maybe they're stuck in a job they hate. I'm helping them think about those people right now. Who's stuck in a job that they hate that you know? Maybe they're ready to level up. Maybe they just need someone in their corner to help them make a power move. Who comes to mind? Send me their names, or better yet, connect us directly. It would mean the world. Now, who do you want who do you want them to refer you to? You need to be specific about who those people are. That's what this letter is doing, this introductory letter for your business. So you need to be specific about who the who is. This is again why you don't want to just lead with life coaching, because people don't know what that is. So everything that we're doing in this little introductory letter is tangible. It's a people with a problem, and I have a specific solution. There's nothing ambiguous about this at all. So you need to think about that and include that kind of information. If it's a single mom, if it's a single dad, if it's a professional, if it's a woman, if it's a man, if it's a 20 something, whatever it is, you need to put it in there. How should they introduce you? What would be the best way to be introduced? And what's the easiest way for them to connect to you? Is that going to be email? Is it going to be an intro in person? Is it going to be a direct message? Is it going to be a group text or something like that? But we need to actually ask, we're asking for connection because we want a warm introduction. Not to the best of our ability, we would at least like to be in a group text that shows that we know you and how we were introduced. I don't simply want, well, I'll go and I'll try to remember this. See, I'm not writing a letter so that you just know what I'm doing with my life. Oh, I'll remember that. Okay, no, I'm asking for specifics. I don't want somebody to forget about me. I want them to be specific about who it is, what problem, the solution that I'm bringing, and I'm asking for two people. Now, let me close with this. You need to expect good things to happen. Some of you are doing things you don't expect good things to happen. So you need to expect that people want to help you. Some of you don't believe that people want to help you. I was talking to a business guy today. They were talking about one of their clients, and their client's always negative, always thinks everybody's against them and everything else. And he's like, I remember when I used to think like that because I grew up in a home that was negative and everybody was kind of against us or whatever. You have to change that mindset. You need to believe not only that you're worthy of someone helping you, but that the world's actually a pretty good place and that people will actually open doors for you. So expect that people want to help you. You have got to follow up with the first email or text that you send. This is something I'm asking you to commit to. You can't just throw it out there. You can't just throw it out there. Or I sent a letter, I sent an email, and I didn't hear anything back. How many emails do you have in your inbox right now that you haven't even opened, but you got an intention to open them one day? Right? How many messages do you have on your phone? How many messages do you have in your messenger that you try to act like you're not even online so that people don't think that you're like, how can I hide that I'm online? I don't want to respond to that message yet or whatever, but I intend to when I'm emotionally prepared to do it or whatever. Know this, people are busy, they got different things going on, but that means you got to follow up. Hardcore. This is a lot of work to put all these names together. So you're going to follow up with everyone. You send 100 emails out, you're going to follow up 100 emails. You connect with 500 people, you're going to follow up with all 500 of them. Don't get lazy on me and get emotional about it. People who get all emotional and are all down, no, this is just part of being a steward of what you have. You know what? One of your biggest things that you have going for you in your life right now is actually your connections. Look at all of the guys from the past and women from the past who are major business leaders, and they started big organizations and they did things. They also would have big Rolodex. Now, this is back in the day. We don't really have those anymore, where these people would follow up all the time and they knew people and they would just connect with them frequently or whatever. This is what we've got to do actually for our business. And again, this is easy because it's already people that we know or we're acquainted with. Don't do these things. Don't give in to feelings of insecurity. We don't have time for that. You'll get past the feelings of insecurity as you are acting, but insecurity wants to keep you where you are right now, wants to keep you in this place where you could never be rejected, you could never be abandoned, no one could ever turn you down. Who cares if somebody doesn't respond to my email or they don't open the door to my business? It's not a big deal. It's not some big loss. You know that I've had some people that knew about my business and opened the door to my business 2 or 3 years later. So we have to understand what kind of a game we're playing in right now. And so I'm not going to get offended by anything. I'm just going to do the work on the front end. Don't give in to the lie that people don't care. It's really important. If you believe that people don't care, they don't want to open the door to your business, then you will use that lens, that bias to keep you from making moves. Here's the last thing. Don't simply, that's under your don't category, don't simply make a social media post hoping that someone saw it. This is not what this thing is intended to do. This is reaching out to the network that you know. Posting it on social media does not count for every person who is on your social media list. Now, some of those people, you may not have their phone numbers. That's fine. Send them a message on Messenger. Do not just post it on your wall and think that people are going to see it. That's cheating because you're afraid of being rejected or not wanting to put the work in, and it's not going to bear fruit. Because as we always see, sometimes you post stuff and you're like, well, no one even responded to that. Why didn't they respond to that? Because they probably didn't see it because there's thousands of other things on. So if you have the equity enough to be in, to have somebody's email address, to have their number, or to have their messenger that you can message them on Facebook Messenger or something like that, then use it. Don't abuse it, but don't waste people's time. Showed you how to sum this thing up. Now, here's another thing that I'll say in terms of levels of relationship. Text is going to work better than email. And text is going to work better than anything that you do on social media. So if you have that, then you need to start there. Or even an old school phone call, because very few people do that. But don't hide what it is that you're asking for. Don't do this thing that, when people are trying to get you to join their yoga thing or subscribe to their whatever essential oil and whatever, their essential oil subscription program or whatever. Don't do that thing that you hate where people are like, I just heard from this person. I haven't heard from them in 3 years. And I know they're going to ask me something about their business. Just don't do that. Start with that thing on the front end. Hey, I need a favor, and it's a big one. And then you're honest in your approach, and then they'll hear you out. Yeah, for those of you who didn't get those slides, text the word slides to 833-258-7547. I'm going to leave that on for about 5 seconds. And 5 seconds is up. All right. Let me pay the bills really quick. Our next one-day Life Coach Certification Training Accelerator is March 15th. What we do on One Day Accelerator is we take the Life Coach Certification course, the best of it, the best of boot camp, and we boil it all down into one training day. What we do is this is Simulive. So what we do is that we take our training and again, we cut out all the fat, we cut out all the fluff. And what we do is we take the best parts and we bring you through all 7 sessions in 12 hours. Yes, it's a lot. What we do is we do session 1, we take a 15-minute break, we go to session 2, 15-minute break, session 3, all the way up to 7 sessions. You knock all of your training out in a single day. All you got to do then is turn in your assignments and your exam, and you've completed your credential. This is for you procrastinators, by the way. Some of you have been putting this off, and you're like, I don't think I can do self-paced. I'm not very disciplined. I can't do a whole boot camp. Well, we've priced this to take all your excuses away. It's $195. And that enrollment includes your 12-hour Saturday training. It includes your welcome pack, brandable templates, everything that you're going to need for coaching agreements, your client welcome pack, all of those things that you would normally get in the Life Coach Certification course. You get it for this one-day training. You're also going to get the Coaching Tool Starter Kit. You're going to get hundreds of question samples. Obviously, you're going to earn your Life Coach certification. You're going to get a certificate. Plus, you're going to continue to be invited to bonus Live Tuesday training. I know one day may not be enough. You don't want to be on your own after it. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to join us on Tuesdays, because you can ask questions. You can proceed through that training, get the latest version of the training week by week. But that way, you don't feel like you're on your own. Those 7 sessions are session 1, Foundations of Coaching. Session 2, the Anatomy of a Dynamic Coaching session. Session 3 is how to help your clients get extraordinary results. 4 and 5 is how to listen on a transformational level, how to ask powerful questions, how to establish a growing coaching practice. Again, this includes live Tuesday night coach training. It's a $3,500 value. We're giving it to you for only $195. You can get enrolled immediately. Now, for those of you who really enjoy the business development aspect of what we're doing, our Jumpstart program offers you the A to Z business development roadmap. In this program, you do get trained and certified because we include the Life Coach Certification course as a part of this. But we also include a lot of other courses like Brand Camp. In Brand Camp, I bring you through 13 hours of step-by-step training, from everything how to design a high converting website, how to get emails that actually get opened and that are high converting emails. We also show you everything that you need to know about writing sales pages, what you should be including in your website, how to choose your niche, all kinds of different things. Search engine optimization. We cover all of those things inside of Brand Camp. You're also going to get the course, the Coaching Product Launch Blueprint. This is the blueprint for your business launch, for a group coaching program, for an online course, for webinars, for workshops. It can really be used for really anything inside your business. If you've been around any length of time, you know that I don't just tell coaches to go for a one-on-one clients. That is one way of offering coaching, but the way to maximize the revenue in your business and help more people is to actually have coaching products like this. Sometimes those products can be used as a stepping stone toward your more expensive things, but what you can end up doing is that you end up setting yourself up so there's no limit to how many people that you can actually help. Jumpstart, again, is $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. You're going to get the A to Z business development roadmap. You're going to get all of these courses. You're going to learn to discover your niche, attract clients. We give you weekly strategy and tools for traditional and online coaching practices. Everything's included in here: pricing, coaching agreements, how to close sales, all of those things. And it also includes a weekly group coaching call as well as a coaching community. So every Wednesday night, the people who are part of this program get to connect with Joan, who is one of our coaches on staff. And what we always do is that we give you feedback on anything that you are working on. So you're not doing this thing alone. You're connected with a group of students who are also starting a group of coaches who are recently certified, and they're trying to build their business. Again, it's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. That's $3.25 a day. That is cheaper than Starbucks for those of you who drink Starbucks every day. So, who do we text for the slides? I think I put it up there. All right, cool. Well, listen, everybody, we're going to stick this video on replay. But I encourage you guys, you can get enrolled in about 90 seconds with a link inside the description of this video. This is week 1. We're going to have 3 more weeks, and you guys committed to me tonight. So by the time that April rolls around, we're going to find out who actually did truly commit and follow through, because we're going to have coaches in here who actually have clients, which will be amazing. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.